From WNIJ Studios on the campus of Northern Illinois University, this is Sessions from Studio A. I'm Spencer Tritt. This week, we're back at Anderson Japanese Gardens in Rockford for a performance from Joe Pug. He's a singer-songwriter originally from the East Coast, but actually recorded his first album, Nation of Heat, in Chicago. That album has since gained more and more popularity since it was released back in 2008, and just last year, Joe Pug released Nation of Heat Revisited, a complete reworking of that album with new instrumentation. We'll hear songs from Nation of Heat and more from Joe Pug coming up this hour on Sessions from Studio A. Welcome to Sessions from Studio A, where we record local and touring artists and bring their concerts to you wherever you're listening in from. This week we're back at Anderson Japanese Gardens in Rockford for a performance from singer-songwriter Joe Pug. Later on we'll also hear from my conversation with Joe Pug recorded at the Gardens, but first let's get right into the music because we have plenty of great songs for you this evening. It's Joe Pug, recorded live on Sessions from Studio A.
Thanks so much for being here tonight. It's an absolute pleasure. I've been playing around the Midwest for many, many years. This is my first time in Rockford. I couldn't imagine a more lovely venue for it. So thanks for being here. I am the day, I am the dawn, I am the darkness coming on. And I am once, I am twice, I am the whole, I'm just a slice. Some call me gone, some call me here, none are wrong, none are near. I am right now, I am back then, I will return, don't ask me when. I am the disappointed kiss, I am the unexpected harvest. I am the old Kentucky home, I am the son who runs the farthest. I have done wrong, I will do wrong, there's nothing wrong with doing wrong. And I am faith, I am belief, except for when I'm not. I am the teeth of champions, I am rust and water rot. And I am sleep, I am breathing, I'm the missing of the passing seasons. I am the brush, I am the strokes, I'm sickness come to the best of folks. I am renewed, I am just made, I am unchanging. I'm a pasture fenced about the edge, I am Dakota thunder raging. And by my shoes and by my feet and by my soul and wonder, I am the tracks we've laid above, I am the tunnel running under. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. The night's so long, you can almost hear it groan. The night's so long, you can almost hear it groan. And we walk so far that our shadows turn to stone. It was a wretched room, but we hung up Christmas lights. It was a wretched room, but we hung up Christmas lights. And the girls played house while the neighbors froze outside. Brace yourself for the letdown. The Holy Ghost with his hands out. No peace on earth is cheaply found. Do you see my colors now? She had long black hair, and you bought everything she sold. Well, she had long black hair, and you bought everything she sold. And she taught you the fine points of doing just as you were sold. Yeah, brace yourself for the letdown. The Holy Ghost with his hands out. No peace on earth is cheaply found. Do you see my colors now? Do you see my colors now? Thanks. Thank you. Across from the prison and beside the Great Lake, below the rooftops and above the highway, the spirits pay rent on the basements they haunt, and the painters just draw pictures of the things that they want. I cook my dinner on the blacktop street. I come from the nation of heat. Outside the train station there's a bold painted sign. It says, try to be patient, don't forget to choose sides. We got the loudest explosions you ever heard. We got $2 soldiers in $10 words. If I didn't own boots, I wouldn't need feet. I come from the nation of heat. So swift and so vicious are the carnival rides. In the carnival barker will yell your name for a bribe. We got billboards for love in Japanese cars. It ain't rare to hear the streetlights call themselves stars. The more that I learn, the more that I cheat. I come from the nation of heat. I've seen skeleton mothers and hungry folks across the street from the kitchens that cook dinner the most. Sometimes you hear whispers by the dark of the moon that we promised too much and gave it too soon. Even our coughs and our fevers compete. I come from the nation of heat. Blackened borders will smiles our immigrant sons. We measure loneliness in miles and misery in tons. There's a straw-headed man rowing away from the shore. She says it's a shame they don't let you have slaves here anymore. Man, it's surely for me. I come from the vision of heat. Thank you. Over here on the upright bass, from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, by way of Norristown, Pennsylvania, deep second-generation Italian country there in Norristown, I would know. Please give it up for Charlie Minch. After the show, if anyone has any questions about anything related to PA, Pennsylvania Dutch country, please refer all of them to Charlie. If you need to know anything about baked oatmeal, I will find you at the exit of my highway. I will find you at the bottom of my glass. No drink is strong enough. No drink is strong enough. No drink is strong enough to still my shaking hand. On a highway west of Davenport in Kansas, in the moonlight of a broken red roof inn, no night is dark enough to tell you where I've been. And I will find you in the arms of yet another. I will find you in her medicated eyes. No God is cruel enough. No God is cruel enough. No God is cruel enough to pay me back in kind. I will find you painting crosses in the courtyard. I will find you walking backwards with a child. No fall is high enough. No fall is high enough. No fall is high enough.
You are listening to Joe Pug on Sessions from Studio A. This week's show was recorded live over at Anderson Japanese Gardens in Rockford. Stick around, we'll be right back after the short break with more music from that live performance, and we'll hear from my conversation with Joe Pug. That's coming up here on Sessions from Studio A. Welcome back to Sessions from Studio A. We've got singer-songwriter Joe Pug on the show this week with a performance recorded live over at Anderson Japanese Gardens in Rockford. And if you like what you're hearing, you can find more from Joe Pug over on his website, joepugmusic.com, and his latest record, Nation of Heat Revisited, is out now on all the usual streaming platforms. Let's continue with that live performance from Anderson Japanese Gardens. It's Joe Pug here on Sessions from Studio A.
I was born into a circus, but I ran off to join a home. Oh, they said that I was worthless, that my family died unknown. So it gets and so it goes. That's what you get, I suppose, for wanting something more than a life of walking ropes. All the Christians left behind at the crossroads of your town, are they playing truth or dare neath the sanctuary now? Some wish they had the truth, some wish they had to go, but there ain't no sense in leaving from the only game you know. Oh, I know how good you are, how hard it is, how good you are. There's a butler in your hallway. He is troublesome and old. He repeats the word alive to describe your family gold. You ask him please to go, but there's one thing you don't know. He carved April 7th, 65 into the side of your piano. Oh, I know how good you are, how hard it is, how good you are. Everything that you were meant for, everything that you were born to do, does not need you to do it. Someone else was born to do it too. Now, like a half-grown man, you barely learn how to stand. If you shut up with what you're chosen, you'll hear something choosing you. Oh, I know how good you are, how hard it is, how good you are. Thank you. We're going to flip Diana in drugs right now. She'll do drugs. Thank you so much. It's nice now. It's really nice now out here. I will tell you, though, standing right here at 3 p.m. for sound check, I was very worried, you guys. But we survived. When the party starts on Monday and Christmas starts in June, when no one minds I just arrived and I'll be leaving soon. If I return with eyes half open, don't ask me where I was. I do my father's drugs. When every revolution is sponsored by the state, there's no bravery in bayonets, in tearing down the gates. If you see me with a rifle, don't ask me what it's for. I fight my father's wars. When hunger strikes a fashion and freedom is routine, when all the streets in Cleveland are named for Martin Luther King, you will see me at the protest, but you'll notice that I drag, I burn my father's flag. So when the party starts starts on Monday, and Christmas starts in June. When no one minds, I just arrived and I'll be leaving soon. If I return with eyes half open, don't ask me where I was. I do my father's drugs. Oh, I do my father's drugs. Thank you. I am from near Washington, D.C., and our bass player, Charlie Minch, who's here with us, is from outside of Philadelphia, Norristown, PA, and we just flew out to do 4 dates here in the Midwest. So we're going to be here in Rockford, then we head out to the Quad Cities, Aurora, Illinois, and then to Southern Illinois, a true Midwestern experience for us.
Last year you released Nation of Heat Revisited. So this is, as the title says, it's a total revisiting of your very first EP you ever put out, Nation of Heat, back in 2008. And it's sort of redone with entirely different instrumentation. I wanted to ask about this record and what it was like for you going back to that first EP that kind of started it for you, and then re-examining those songs, redoing those songs. What was that process like?
Well, the first album that I ever put out in 2008 called Nation of Heat was almost not even intended to be an album. It was just songs that I was recording and kind of demoing out, and then they kind of became an album. But it was just me, an acoustic guitar, and my harmonica. And so it's almost an album that sounds like a demo tape, but it kind of struck a chord with people in Chicago, where I was at the time, and around the country. And I ended up quitting my job and going on the road and playing music, and that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years. And a lot of it has been because of that original album and the audience that it kind of accrued. Fast forward a decade and change later, and I decided that I wanted to kind of revisit it in a way where I could actually put instrumentation to it, which I was not able to do the first time. So I did a complete reworking, and I kind of reworked the album in a way as if the original was the demo, and I was making the actual album, and that's what Nation of Heat Revisited is.
I'm guessing tonight we might be hearing some of that album. Can you tell us a little bit about the set tonight? What's planned for you here?
Yeah, so I'll be playing plenty of songs off that album. I'll be playing songs off an album called The Flood in Color, which is an album I put out about 4 or 5 years ago, which is when our bass player Charlie started playing with me. So he is that was his initiation into playing together. So we play a lot of those. We might play a fun cover or two by some heroes of ours, maybe a John Prine song or two.
Another project you have, kind of separate from music too, your podcast, The Working Songwriter. Tell us a little bit about that project for you, balancing that in between music as well.
Yeah, so I've been running an interview series with other songwriters for the last 7 years. I'd say that we're, oh man, I'll just go ahead and toot our own horn. I think we're the best songwriter podcast out there, man. That's what I'd say. And no one's here to contradict me. But no, we've had a lot of great guests on there. We've had Steve Earle, Lucinda Williams, Brandon Flowers of The Killers. We've had Ian MacKaye of Fugazi. We've had a lot of people, and it happens every week. And I talk with another artist for about an hour about their music, about their creative process, about their business practices. We kind of go deep. And yeah, it's been a real labor of love of mine for the last 6 or 7 years. It's a pretty strange job to have as an adult, to be a working songwriter and traveling around. And so doing this podcast has really helped me connect with a lot of people that do the same very kind of strange, Carney-like job that I do. And, you know, you kind of empathize with one another on the, as the dude would say, with the strikes and gutters, ups and downs, you know?
What are some plans coming up for you? What's next after you leave Rockford here in the next couple weeks? What's on the horizon for you?
Touring throughout the rest of the year and all over the U.S. We do land back in Chicago at the end of the year, well, in Evanston, right above Chicago, to play Evanston Space there, and then hopefully new album in the first quarter of next year.
Where can folks keep up with you?
at joepugmusic.com with one G or at theworkingsongwriter.com.
Fantastic. Joe Pug and everybody, thanks so much for letting us come out here and record the show and talk with you. Thanks.
Clap of lightning, I awaken to her foot of water standing in my basement. It started rising, it took me under. The flood is coming. This is not history in black and white now. In a perfect storm, there isn't any high ground. The end of childhood, the end of summer, the flood in color. They tried to warn me, I wouldn't listen. And now all at once I'm drowning in my kitchen. My legs are broken from treading water. The flood is coming, the flood is coming. I tried to bargain, I tried to reason, but the sky was deaf, the rain was never ceasing. It's not some cheap bed I can cover. The flood in color, the flood in color. So listen close now, I was dead wrong to think that things could work themselves out in the long run. Pay attention, heed the thunder. The flood is coming, the flood in color. Thank you.
Joe Pug, recorded live at Anderson Japanese Gardens in Rockford. And you're listening to Sessions from Studio A on WNIJ. We'll be right back with more music. Once again, you can find more from Joe Pug over on joepugmusic.com, and he's on Instagram at @thejoepug. Stick around, there's more music coming up here on Sessions from Studio A. Welcome back to Sessions from Studio A with Joe Pug. We still have plenty of great music to get to, including a John Prine tune coming up. Let's get right back into the music. This show was recorded live at Rockford's Anderson Japanese Gardens. It's Joe Pug on Sessions from Studio A.
When I was a boy, my family would travel down to western Kentucky where my parents were born. And there's a backwards old town that is often remembered so many times that my memories are worn. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled away. Sometimes we'll travel right down the Green River to the abandoned old prison down by Adrie Hill, where the air smelled like snakes and we'd shoot with our pistols, but empty pop bottles was all we would kill. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled away. Then the coal company came with the world's largest shovel, and they tortured the timber and they raped all the land. Yeah, they dug for their coal till the land was forsaken, and they wrote it all down as the progress of man. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled away. When I die, let my ashes float down the Green River. Let my soul roll on up to the Rochester Dam. I'll be halfway to heaven with paradise waiting, just 5 miles away from wherever I am. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled away. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled away. If you got one, raise one for John Prine, ladies and gentlemen. This one's by a guy who's no longer with us. He's gone way before his time. He took me on my first tour of America. He took me on my first tour of Australia, where we flew to Western Australia and we went to the grave of the original lead singer from AC/DC. We drank a bottle of tequila on it. It was great. As a 24-year-old dude, it was everything I imagined being a touring songwriter was supposed to be. And I've now since learned that it's a lot less that and a lot more like Holiday Inn breakfast, pretty much. But he was a pretty amazing guy, man. And this is the song of his that every time we were playing together, I'd come out from the green room to hear this one. It's a beautiful song about his mom. It's my favorite Justin Townes Earle song. Father's son, I've never known when to shut up, and I ain't fooling no one. I am my father's son. We don't see eye to eye, and I'll be the first to admit I never tried. Yeah, it hurts, but it should hurt sometimes. We don't see eye to eye. I was a young man when I first felt the pleasure in the feeling of a sin. and I went down the same road as my old man, but I was younger then. Now it's 3 a.m. and I'm standing in the kitchen holding my last cigarette. Strike a match and I see my reflection in the mirror in the hall, and I say to myself, I got my mama's eyes, her long thin frame and her smile, and I still see wrong from right, 'cause I got my mama's eyes. Yeah, I got my mama's eyes. Raise one up for Justin if you got one. And I've come to know the wish list of my father. I've come to know the shipwrecks where he wished. I've come to wish aloud among the overdressed crowd. Come to witness now the sinking of the ship, throwing pennies from the sea-top next to it. And I've come to roam the forest past the village with a dozen lazy horses in my cart. I've come here to get high, to do more than just get by. I've come to test the timber of my heart. Oh, I've come to test the timber of my heart. And I have come to be untroubled in my seeking. I have come to see that nothing is for naught. I've come to reach out blind, to reach forward and behind. For the more I seek, the more I'm sought. Yeah, the more I seek, the more I'm sought. And I've come to meet the sheriff and his posse, to offer him the broadside of my jaw. I've come here to get broke, and then maybe bum a smoke. We'll go drinking 2 towns over after all. We'll go drinking 2 towns over after all. And I've come to meet the legendary takers. I've only come to ask them for a lot. Well, they say I've come with less than I should rightfully possess. I say the more I buy, the more I'm bought. And the more I'm bought, the less I cost. I have come to take their servants and their surplus. I have come to take their raincoats and their speed. I've come to get my fill, to ransack and spill. I've come to trade the harvest for the seed. Oh, I've come to trade the harvest for the seed. One more time. And I've come to know the manger that you sleep in. I have come to be the stranger that you keep. I've come from down the road, and my footsteps never slowed. Before we met, I knew we'd meet. Ah, before we met, I knew we'd meet. And I've come here to ignore your cries and heartaches. I've come to closely listen to you sing. I've come here to insist that I leave here with a kiss. I've come to say exactly what I mean, and I mean so many things. And you've come to know me stubborn as a butcher, and you've come to know me thankless as a guest. But will you recognize my face when God's awful grace strips me of my jacket and my vest and reveals all the treasure in my chest? I'd like to thank you guys so much for listening tonight. I'd like to thank Anderson Japanese Gardens, Derek Luttrell and his merry gang. And thank you for a very wonderful first trip to Rockford, Illinois. Oh, speak plainly, Diana. There's nothing to understand. Yes, there's mysteries in the basement, but there's comic books upstairs. And there's a wrecking ball in the front yard, but there's blueprints on the couch. Speak plainly to me, Diana. We'll build ourselves a house. Said, I don't mind riding around. I don't mind riding around. There's no safety, Diana, and there's nobody to blame. Even daylight will surprise you. Even dreams will end the same. So when there's too much to remember, and you remember me, speak plainly to me, Diana. We're swimming to the sea. I said I don't mind riding around. 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 Oh, come lately, Diana, and quit what's got you down. Steal from the tallest cabinet and make your favorite sound. And when there's too much to get rid of, and you get rid of me, oh, speak plainly to me, Diana. There's nothing you must be. I said I don't mind riding around. 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 Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you.
Joe Pug closing out his live performance at Rockford's Anderson Japanese Gardens and our show for this week. Thanks so much to Joe Pug for being on the show and to Anderson Japanese Gardens for having us out. Also, special thanks to Scott Ford of Evil Twin Recording for running sound and recording the show. Be sure to check out more from Joe Pug over on joepugmusic.com. Be on the lookout for that new album coming at the beginning of next year. And he's also on all the usual streaming services, as well as Instagram at @TheJoePug. Find behind-the-scenes live video recorded over at Anderson Japanese Gardens. It's on WNIJ.org and on the WNIJ YouTube channel, along with plenty of other Sessions from Studio A videos. Sessions from Studio A is produced on the campus of Northern Illinois University in DeKalb. Producers are Mike Lundgren, Ethan Patterson, and myself. I'm Spencer Tritt, and thanks so much for joining me this week on Sessions from Studio A.
If I return with eyes half open, don't ask me where I was.